today, ladies and gentlemen, replaces the one erected in 1951 by the local men who once mined sand on Muckish. And it also replaces the cross erected by Charlie McKinley from Dunfanaghy in 1985. The cross measures 22 foot and it weighs approximately half a ton. It was made in Letterkenny by Thomas Coyle of Dromore. We wish to extend a thank you to him for his speedy efforts in making the cross for us and getting it delivered to us in good time.
Sitting proud on the skyline and perched upon the landscape of northwest County Donegal in Ireland is the captivating sight of Muckish Mountain. At 2,185 feet tall, its distinctive profile can easily be seen from the towns and villages of Creeslough, Dunfanaghy and Falcara, as well as being easily identifiable from many vantage points around the county. A famous landmark of the area, it has not only been a source of intrigue, but in its day, of industry too. In the late 1940s and 50s, silica sand was extracted from the mountain and shipped abroad to make glass. But this story starts in 1950, when Pope Pius XII declared the year of 1950 to be a holy year within the Catholic Church. Workers of the sand quarry from near the summit of the mountain volunteered to put their experience of working within the hostile terrain and environment to use, and offered to place this historic cross. However, due to consistent bad weather, it was not until 1951 before the first cross was finally erected. Shortly afterwards, hundreds of people climbed to the top of the mountain to see the new cross and for a special blessing. As the millennium approached in 1999, a local ad hoc committee was established to try and replace the now dilapidated cross with a new one, and one to hopefully last long enough into the future to keep this iconic symbol alive for the future generations to come.
Here we had a cross, a very substantial cross, which weighed almost half a ton. And to get that to the top of a 2,200 foot high mountain was going to be a problem. And as a result of much discussion and different plans were discussed as to how it would be undertaken, well, of course we all agreed that it would be good to use a helicopter.
Committee member Charlie Gallagher, who was a member of the Irish Reserve Army, known as the FCA, began to use his Defence Force connections to see if they could assist with the plight. Initial contact was made with his commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Declan O'Carroll of the 28th Battalion, stationed at Finna Camp, and so began a series of forward and back discussions and communications.
Well, I would have known a number of the personnel in the Air Corps, number one. But number two, it was basically a series of persistent phone calls to the Air Corps headquarters in Baldonnel.
Meanwhile, at a different altitude and with more traditional methods being applied, preparations for a plinth to receive the cross at the top of the mountain were getting underway. As the preparation work continued, Lieutenant Colonel O'Carroll sanctioned the use of a helicopter to leave Fidda Camp and travel north to help the workers ferry more preparation equipment and materials to the top.
5th of August
and it's 11:30. We aim to try to get the aggregate cement water up to set in the new cross, but as you can see, it's raining and it's very overcast at the minute.
It was a fine summer's day on August 22nd, 2000, as members of the committee, families and onlookers gathered in a field at the foot of Muckish and waited with an air of expectant excitement for the helicopter aircrew to arrive.
Just see the helicopter now, just hovering over Muckish. Hopefully it'll be coming down here to land.
The cross was brought to a field in Carnamady, which we'll call the heliport, and not one but 2 Air Corps helicopters arrived.
Two of them.
Once again, the team of men who had prepared the plinth on the mountaintop itself were now making their way back to the summit to await the arrival of the new cross. Once the air crews had disembarked and met with some of the local committee, the briefing for the task at hand soon got underway, led by Captain Veerling.
What is happening here now is that the crew is surveying the cross, making a few calculations, and hopefully that it'll be okay for them to lift.
Yeah, well, there's 2 of them, yeah. So you'll be having 2 of them in like that, and we'll just put our cable through and up we go.
What we decide now is that John McIntyre and Peter McGarry will go up first on to the top of the hill, move back the men that's already up there, sure there's no loose coats or anything lying around.
Well, the main pilot was there. His objective was supposed to get the cross up, and he never expected to be living it in on the plinth. So I explained to him, you know, how, and if he could land it on it, I could put this apparatus around it and hold it in place.
And that'll just tighten it and hold it somewhat upright. Yeah. Do the lads know how to use that?
Yes, they do. And that's how we go up them.
Well, unless, yeah, you go up with them.
Yeah. There was a rail on the old plinth that was sticking up a bit, so we decided that if we could get it onto that, I had what they call a keto hoist. It's a hand one that we use for pulling up lines. So if we wrapped that around the whole thing, the cross and all that, we could stench it, you know, and it wouldn't be sitting fully the way it should be, but it would be sitting with a slope. So that would at least leave it that when we were concrete around it, then we could straighten it up like.
Maneuver it into the hole, and then we'll just leave it down gently into the hole, let it rest, and then get everyone clear, and then we'll drop it. If it stays upright, well and good. If it doesn't.
But on the day we got concrete, 2 bins of concrete made from mucky sand and gravel, provided by Brian McGinley at the time.
When we get up on top, then clear the area of anybody who's not involved. We'll come in overhead. Jinxie, you lower us down until the weight or whatever it is just off the ground, and then you can come in if you need to manoeuvre it around or whatever. That would be your call, and be aware that it may swing as well. I mean, when we're down here on the ground, it's not too bad. but the crane that we're using in this case is actually floating in the air as well, so it's subject to being blown around there. If we get any kind of a failure, if I get an engine failure or something like that, I will do my best to move out to my right. So basically your job is to get out as quickly as you can to the direction you came in from. You'll have to land on, let the lads get out, okay? You can come back. I wouldn't shut down up there, or you can stop the blades, alright, but don't actually shut the engine down.
I go in down here.
So I don't want anybody up here. Those cars, you should probably move out of the way as well. Because when we get out, we're going to be going in that direction there. So you don't want your half ton of concrete landing on the nice new car up there, right?
So now, with all the materials and men in place, the final preparations on the plinth were almost complete, whilst down below there was a growing air of anticipation.
You have to turn over the cross the other way, the hole's down, so when the lifting is going to hang right underneath the chopper.
Even if they didn't get it in, at least the cost of the side will get it in.
That's a sight to behold, isn't it? Huh?
That's the cross, right, boy.
Like it's not swinging much.
You might want us to step back a bit.
Be aware that there's going to be a lot of noise, that it's going to be very windy.
Well, the noise, all you could do was think. You couldn't talk to anybody. On the day was myself, John McTeer, Breen Ferry and Hugh Francis Brogan.
Top then, the boys at the top can manoeuvre it while still being far enough back that if we drop it, they're not going to be hit by it.
And they kept the cross with the ropes, you know, kept it kind of from this side to that side, directing it in like. Well, we had to keep our eye on his colleagues that was there because they kind of directed operations for us on the ground, and then they had the headphones on. They were talking to him on the helicopter, so they had their communications, and we were communicating in with them, kind of with hand signals. And when I got the hoist on it and tightened it, he just let it go nice and easy, and it just sat there. And it was. They took a few photographs then, and next thing, just away it went. Well, what happened after that then, all the people involved, the people, there was a lot of people up there that day, and we had to carry all the stuff over and get the job kind of finished up, get the concrete all in.
That's about as, we wouldn't be lifting much more than what we lifted there now. Yeah. I mean, we were down to, we've practically no fuel on board there now, there's only 2 of us on board. You wouldn't lift much more weight than we lifted there.
Right, I'll hurry up to never pass to the yellow. Clean the white.
When that was finished, we all had to tramp down the mountain. We'd leg it down, all the helicopters were gone at that stage, so when we got back to the field, all the tea and the sandwiches and all that was gone as well. So the round for us when we go back to the carriage bar back in Kildare, and quench your thirst there.
Cross is up down Muckish.
Please stop.
Tuesday evening, 25 to 9. We're after coming down.
And as we gather to the summit of Muckish Mountain, I would say there's none could agree, but it's a beautiful spot to gather on this fine day.
For their help in the erection of the cross here. We'd like to thank the people of Bulcara, Dunfanaghy, Ards, Creeslough, Downings, Carrigarden, Termon for the church gate collection, and the religious people for allowing us to uplift the collection at their houses of worship. We would also like to take this opportunity to thank the Irish Army Air Corps, who went to great lengths to make this day a reality for us all.
There was a deep, deep appreciation of what the young airmen did. They felt they were heroes to come in. Of course, they probably received this very much part of a day's work, but it was very much appreciated.
Last but not least, we'd like to thank the local people for the hard work and the long hours that they put into the Millennium Cross project. We cannot thank everyone individually, but most people know who we are talking about. All your hard work and your efforts make us all very proud today as we stand viewing our new cross here in Muckish.
From the top of Muckish, somebody described it as you can see Atlantic Ireland at its best, with the golden beaches, the cliff scenery, the little green fields, the houses dotted throughout the countryside. So from that point of view, people who climb it are well rewarded.
And I think a special word of merit goes to Paddy Duffy. Wherever you are, Paddy, you'll get a free drink tonight. Anyone complaining of sore legs after 85 years of age deserves it.